On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 ReZero references, 3 seasons of Snafu, 2 co-hosts for the King of Anime podcast, and the anime Dragon Ball Z. We are on to 2013. This was the year that I think a lot of really good anime came out. Like anime that I watch to this day came out around this time, and it was quality. Let us begin. Problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? This anime is very much... it's so incredibly short. It's only 10 episodes long. It's unfinished, but it's super fun. It's an isekai with 3 characters that get transported into another realm. We have a character that's OP. We have like a witch character. We have a character that can talk to animals. And it's fun. And Black Bunny, she's super fun too. And it's just overall a really fun show. I wish that they would have continued with this series, but I feel like it just never got the popularity that it deserved, which is unfortunate, but what can you do? Check it out. Really good one. Love Live School Idol Project. So, I watched this just because there was really nothing else to watch at the beginning. I like to give shows the benefit of the doubt when they first come out. I like to say, okay, I'll give it the 1 episode, 2 episode, 3 episode max treatment. And if I don't like it, I'll drop it. Love Live is a very simple show. They're school idols. They're trying to save the school, and there's a lot of singing involved. I never thought in a million years I'd like a show that was like this, but I loved this show. I love the characters. I love the singing. I love the story, the how the characters act with one another. This is definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. And me and Satsuki share the same passion for Love Live. Currently right now we're doing a Love Live Nijigasaki podcast. You want to check it out? Go to the little link above. Chihaya Furu had a season 2. It was great, introduced new characters, they were a year older, and overall another solid, great anime. Check it out. There's an anime that comes around once in a generation. This show, Attack on Titan, is that show. I knew that it was a special show when people outside of the anime community were talking about it. Like, that show was so popular that even the non-anime watchers were watching it and saying, damn, the show is great. Attack on Titan is a fantastic show. If you have not seen Attack on Titan, please do. It is a great show. Attack on Titan, how do I even explain it? Like, it takes place, like, in this world where people live inside of a stone wall, and these giant beasts known as Titans break down this wall, and they go inside, and they just start devouring people, and the Titans just look disgusting. And then you have these people, a part of this, these corps military groups, where they have these packs where they shoot and they just go flying everywhere, and they have these swords and they chop the back of the neck because that's apparently their weak spot. And it was, the first episode alone hooked me, and I absolutely loved this show. This show, I love this show to this day. It is, I really can't praise this show enough. If you haven't gotten into this show, definitely check it out. It's worth the watch. I remember when this show first came out, I was fanboying heavy around this time, and I was a super fan. Mind Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. Oh, if you do not know me, and if you have not seen my channel before, you will know quickly that I am a fan of this show. This show, in my honest opinion, is one of my all-time favorites when it comes to like a slice of life. This is the best slice of life ever made, is this series. I watched this show on a whim. I didn't think anything of it, and what attracted me the most to this series was the main character and how relatable he was and how real the dialogue was and just how good and well written this show was. I love My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. The first season was great. It got you into that show, and yeah, this was one of those rare shows that I was just like, oh, this show was fantastic, and highly recommend anyone watching it. If you haven't watched it now is a good time to definitely check out the show. The Hentai Prince and the Stony Cat. This one is very weird and very unique, but it's funny as hell, and I love the show because of how ridiculous it is. Like, there's this stone cat that people can make wishes on, and then the people get affected, and then they automatically become possessed under the Stony Cat's like powers, and they have to do whatever it is the person wished for. It's a ridiculous show. It's funny. It's lewd. I enjoyed it for what it was. Gargantia on the Verdurious Planet. This is another very underappreciated anime where it starts off where you think it's going to be like mainly just like a mecha show. And when it comes to mecha, I'm not a huge fan of mecha. There are a few shows that I like when it comes to mecha. Gurren Lagann is like one of my favorites when it comes to mecha. And this one. There's probably a couple others, I just can't think of them at the moment. But this one, he gets blasted to another world. He crash lands on this planet where it almost kind of reminds me of Waterworld, where it's mostly the ocean. And then he interacts with all these other people, and he speaks another language, which I thought was cool. They don't automatically speak Japanese. He speaks another language, an alien language to them. And then eventually he learns how to speak their language. And when he does, it's kind of broken Japanese. It's how do, what men. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. And I feel like a lot of people never found out about this show. And I like this show a lot. Definitely check it out. Flowers of Evil. This is a very unique show. Because everything... It's not really like an anime because everything's live action, but they overlay it with like colorful art to make it look animated. Even though you could tell by looking at it, it's actual people. It's one of those absolutely weird shows that I wish would have continued, and I feel like it would have like gotten progressively better had we seen another season. I like shows that are just like so out there and so weird, and this is one of those shows where explaining it doesn't really do it any justice, but it's neat. A little disappointing because there's no second season, but overall I enjoyed it. Free. Oh my gosh, I remember when this show first came out, everybody was hyping the hell out of this. This was another Kyoto Animation. It was like an all dudes exclusive, so it was like boys love material. I actually wound up enjoying this series. I think the second season, because I think they made like 4 seasons of the show, but I saw this season and the second season being the better one in my opinion, because it had a great story. But overall, it is what it is. It's a story about guys wanting to make a swim team. And then you have all the different personalities, and it was entertaining. It was fun. I liked the music more than anything, but overall, it was fun. Second season of High School DxD. Literally the very first episode of the second season is nothing but boobies. Just right away, just boobs right up in your face. This is when I kind of started steering away from High School DxD altogether, because the first season it was a harem, but like nobody liked him that way except for, you know, the main queen or king, whatever, pawn piece, whatever. She started liking him, but she had her reasons. But then this season everybody started liking him just because. I don't know, I liked the fact that it was different from the first season. Like the first season was very much the anti-harem-ish in a way, and then the second season it became very much the traditional harem, and I just said to myself, okay. It was still fun and entertaining, but I kind of fell off the bandwagon after the second season. Watamote. Oh my gosh. If there was ever a show that needed to have a second season, this was the show. Watamote was really, really, really good. Like, it's... My friend Sasuke, he reads the manga, and he says that it progressively got so much better. And I liked the anime when it first came out. And I wish they could have kept going with it so that we could have seen all that stuff animated. That would have been great. Watamote, you have this girl who wants to be popular. She's very antisocial, kind of very awkward type of individual. And this show is so good at making you feel uncomfortable. There are some horror films that don't make me feel as uncomfortable as this show made me feel. That's how uncomfortable this show makes you feel, and it's great. I love it. She's definitely a character you feel like you want to root for, and I wish this show could have continued on with a second season, and we never got it. But definitely worth checking out, absolutely. Silver Spoon. Gosh, Silver Spoon that one is also an underrated show where this guy, he moves out to the country, and it's like a school that's kind of more like a farm, really, and he learns just basically about the concepts of life, you know, working for your money and taking pride in the stuff that you've accomplished just by putting in the elbow grease and the work and whatnot. And there's a scene in here where they went the very mature route where basically I thought they would have gone a certain way, but instead they went and they said, okay, we're going to stick with this and do that. And I was surprised they went that way. So I applaud that show for at least doing that. But overall, they made a second season to this, and it's good. It came out the year after, so 2014, and it expanded upon it, and then we never got any more seasons after that, which is a shame because I really enjoyed this show. Really good show, well worth it, good slice of life, check it out. Love Lab, on the surface, looks like just any other anime, but was actually really, really funny, and it's criminally underrated by how it just never got a second season. We had 13 episodes. It was really good, really funny. Love Lab is basically a group of women trying to, I guess, find out what love is. So they reenact certain things. It's goofy as you'd expect it to be, but it's really, really underappreciated, and another show that I wish had a second season. You're gonna see a huge theme today. Servant in Service is another show that should have had a second season. It's a show that takes place in the workplace. And of all places, it's like, what is it called? Like social workers? Like you Japanese social workers. And they're adults, and it's just interesting because you don't really see many animes that have adults in them, and I enjoyed this one for that reason, and also the characters were good, and it just left me wanting to see more. There is like a boss who is socially awkward, so he has a remote control bunny, and he talks through the bunny and he moves it with joysticks. It's weird. Like, take away that part, it's pretty much normal work. Pretty much normal work, and I enjoyed it. And they had a reference to Attack on Titan in this show, which showed you at the time how popular Attack on Titan was. My goodness. Great show, check it out. Kill la Kill. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Kill la Kill. Oh my gosh. The same guy who made Gurren Lagann decided to split from the studios that he was a part of. Him and this other guy created a new studio called Trigger, and this was their premiere work, was Kill la Kill, and it is every bit as beautiful as you could imagine. Oh, It pays tribute to those old animes where they would transform and become less skimpy and have barely any clothes. Clothes is the huge theme of the show, and great twists and turns, and overall this show is 25 episodes long, and it is the perfect length. Like, oh, this is a really good show. And the animation, mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. It is fantastic. It is a part of that good old age, that dying age. It doesn't look like it has as many CGI, and there's probably CG in there, but it doesn't look like it to me. Like, it looks hand-drawn to the extreme, and Kill la Kill is definitely up there with one of the best animes ever made, for sure. Kokoro no Basket Season 2. This is the best season, in my honest opinion. In this season, we get a full-out, I don't know, anime battle during the basketball scene with two people going all out. I guess when they go all out, that's considered going Super Saiyan. And it's really, really cool, really fun, enjoyable, especially that match, and then the match that came out after that one, because the first match was great, and then the second match was also spectacular, but the first match, top tier. Season 2 is the best one, in my wholehearted opinion. Check it out. Strike the Blood has vampires, it has a lot of ecchi stuff, sexual tendencies, what have you. It's ridiculous as it sounds, and overall, it's fun. I don't really have much else to say other than people that get bit in this show for some reason don't become vampires, but they do a lot of, let's just say, they look very happy to get bit, and they make those faces. Check it out. The Garden of Words is yet another Makoto Shinkai movie. It has the best, like, rain animation you could possibly imagine. This movie itself is like 45 minutes long. It's wonderful to look at. Story-wise, it's kind of lacking, to be quite honest, but I had to put it on here just because the animation is beautiful. But little did we know that this was the precursor to his masterpiece. HAL is a good movie, very unique movie, a movie that has a really cool twist at the end, and overall, I think the less you know about it, the better off you'll be. HAL is, let's just say this is another one of those movies that's about dealing with death and moving on and enjoying life. Definitely check it out. And those were the animes that I saw in 2013. If there's any that I didn't see that you think that would be cool for me to watch, leave a little comment down below, and I will give that a look-see-loo. See you in the next video.